So this is going to be fairly quick, short time. There'll be some opening comments. We're going to have time for a couple of questions, and then I'm going to have to run them out. So thank you very much. I want to keep everybody on schedule. So thank you very much for your time. Gentlemen?
First, let me say good afternoon to everybody that's present this afternoon. First, let me acknowledge Chief Patrick Smith. The city of Birmingham, along with the Birmingham police officers whose command he was under, thanks him for his service to the city of Birmingham and moving our police department forward. But that's what this conversation is really about, moving forward. I am excited to announce our interim chief, Mr. Scott Thurman, who has been with the Birmingham Police Department for 23 plus years. He came up through the ranks in this department. He loves the city of Birmingham and has been invested in this community. Has served in various capacities. He understands not only patrol, but he also understands the importance of investigations and other bureaus within this department. And so I am glad he will be leading the men and women of the City of Birmingham Police Department. And with that, everybody, I want to bring Scott Thurman up.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'd just like to tell Chief Smith thank you for his work. We've come a very long way in his time here, and he's brought the department a lot of technology and brought us up to a lot of new technological ways of fighting crime. I'm looking forward to working with our community members and our members of our department to reduce crime in our city, especially gun violence, which is one of our biggest problems. We have a lot of challenges before us, looking to evaluate the department as we move forward, and looking forward to working with everyone.
Take a couple of questions. Anybody?
This seemed like a very quick transition from, one chief resigning to appointing an interim one for the next. Was this discussed prior with maybe you guys, or do you have any knowledge of that beforehand, or was this kind of made on the fly?
I would just say that Chief Smith submitted his resignation today. That's effective next month.
So were you aware or not aware before today?
Chief Smith came into the office. We had a conversation today, and he shared with me, and he submitted his resignation today. That's effective February.
There were no confidence vote in the past for Chief Smith. You stood by him then. How do you feel knowing that he submitted his resignation today? You've always stood by him, and in the statement you've already said a lot of things about what he's done in the past.
The question was how I feel. I feel grateful. I'm grateful for his service. Thank you, Chief Patrick Smith.
Thanks,
Hey, Chief, Acting Chief, what do you see as the biggest and most important thing you want to tackle first in terms of challenges for the department? I know there's a big deal about officer shortage.
Staffing is a big issue for us. We're well aware of it. We're working to address it. It's definitely a top priority, and that affects not only just the officers, but our community members. We need enough officers on the street to properly serve our community members. So that is a big issue. But we've got to evaluate the entire department to see where, are there areas that need change? A lot of things don't need to be fixed, but there are probably some things that need to be looked at. And once we evaluate them, we'll determine what things need to occur at that point in time.
Acting Chief Thurman, what will be different under your leadership in concerns to gun
described
violence?
as somebody who could really pull the department, the rank and file together. A lot of officers are saying that today. To what do you attribute the widespread support you're getting from the rank and file?
Chief, before you answer that question, Carol, thank you for that question. He's going to answer that question. We get the last one, and then that's it.
Thank you. Under your leadership, what will you do differently in regards to gun violence?
One of the first things we'll do is work with our state, local, and federal partners to tackle gun violence. We've recently started some new things with ATF here locally, and we'll continue those relationships to tackle gun violence. It's not something that is just a BPD or City of Birmingham issue. It's a nationwide problem. It's going to take more than the Birmingham Police Department to combat that problem. We realize that, and that's why we need our state, local, and federal partners to assist us. And so we look forward to working with them.
We're going to wrap up with what Carol had asked, but I think we interrupted that for a second.
This is just me personally. I've never made my career in supervision or leadership about me. It's always been about the people that I serve. And so I think that always works out well for me. It's not about me. Me taking this position as the acting chief at this point in time is not about me. It's to move the Birmingham Police Department forward and serve the citizens or community members of Birmingham in a better way. and we hope we can do that by reducing gun violence and crime as a whole.
All right, everybody, thanks a lot. We gotta get them with the meeting with the officers now. They're gonna be in for roll call. Thank you very much. If you have anything to follow up, just be advised.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And welcome back to CBS 42 Now. Phil Penarski here. I want to thank everybody for sticking around. I know we had a little bit of a delay in that press conference, but of course it is a very breaking news situation across the city of Birmingham as former police chief Patrick Smith sent in his resignation today, and Mayor Randall Woodfin accepted it, making a little bit of a mention there in that press conference. It was sort of an introductory press conference between introducing the new acting chief. BPD Captain Scott Thurmond has been named the active chief of the Birmingham Police Department, as well as Mayor Woodfin taking some questions regarding the resignation. Although he did not share too much information, he did want to thank Chief Smith for his efforts in the almost 4 years since he has arrived in Birmingham. He arrived back in 2018 after serving multiple years with the Los Angeles Police Department. But Scott Thurmond, the new acting chief of BPD, has been with the department for quite some time as well. He has spent the past 23 years in the ranks of the Birmingham Police Department. So again, Mayor Woodfin saying one of the big things about this news happening with Chief Smith resigning was the department moving forward, and he believes that Thurmond is the best one for the job to move the department forward. And again, we will be having more information as well as more recaps of this breaking news event over on our website, cbs42.com, in just a matter of moments. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in to this latest edition of CBS 42 Now. I'm Phil Penarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.